Well, this next discussion is actually you brought up Chaz, and I just have a couple clarifications. Your question is, do you think Sebastian Vettel is washed up now? Is that will he win any more championships, or will he get win just races, or even to the point will he get on the podium and taste that champagne anymore? Um, what is your what was your thought process behind that? Do you think?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's an interesting question, right? Because we have the third most winningest driver in F1 history,
Mhm.
who hasn't won in how many years now? I mean, I think it's been since like what would effectively, I mean, since before 2010. So we're looking at teens as far as like how many years it's been.
Mhm.
So I think it's been like 2007 or 2008 or something like that. So um, yeah, I think it's an interesting question to ask if you still have that driver in the field and he's the third winningest driver of all time. What's going on? Why hasn't this guy been on a podium in a couple of years? What's actually happening with him and what's going to happen in the future? I mean, it's the same sort of question that we ask um, of our Spanish our Spanish friend who is an absolute legend. You're one of your favorite drivers, but um,
Alonso.
what's that?
Alonso.
Alonso, exactly. But I mean, you just have to ask the question, right? Like, are they capable of getting on a podium again? I personally feel like um, Vettel is in a downward spiral. And when I say that, I don't mean downward in the sense that like um, it's irreversible. Or actually, I'll say this: it's I do feel like it's irreversible. I don't feel like it's terrible. Like he's trash now, but I do feel like he's towards the end of his career from like an age perspective. He's had a couple of seasons, and this is a very much a "what have you done for me now" lately sport, like most of them. So he's in after having a couple of seasons where he's underperformed even the new driver on the team, right? Like he's underperformed Charles Leclerc by a long shot. So I think when teams are talking about giving him a shot, I mean it's not conceivable for him to go to a top team anymore. I don't really think that's a real option for him. And if he's not able to go to a top team, I don't think that he's capable of winning in
Well,
his
he
current
said on Twitter right before Aston Martin revealed their car is like our official goal is third place. I think that means we have a lot to ahead. We have a lot to be have to be ahead of Ferrari. For me, there's no personal satisfaction in being in front of Ferrari. The satisfaction lies in being satisfied in my own performance. Now we're going to get into Aston Martin here in a minute, but with four-time
They
world
said third place.
third place as constructors.
That's dreaming. But I'm sorry. You got keep going.
Okay, that's a good assessment. Um, Going into this, I mean, yeah, he's a four-time world champion. I mean, he's the same age as Lewis Hamilton, though. Um,
Yeah, but it's been a lot longer since he's won.
it's true.
And
Um,
he has a lot less total wins.
well, yeah. Would he get? Will he win a championship again? I don't think so. But I think to write him off the podium there, I don't. He may get one or two podiums this season. Honestly, Mike, do you see something different?
I mean, I hate to look too deep into the head game, but you have to believe you can win. And he didn't have he started out strong with Ferrari. He podiumed a couple of times. What was it, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, that was the decline of Ferrari, and now he's fighting in the mid range. And I don't know if mentally he's still in the game. And I've watched him. I like him because he's got the best press conferences. He's got that good sense of humor. And just I think last year that I didn't see any of that anymore. So I don't know if he's tired, wore out maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about him or I haven't watched too many things about him. Just from what I'm seeing, first impression, especially when their goal is third. I mean, I don't know. That's the old Sebastian Vettel would have said, "Screw third, we're going to go for it all."
Yeah.
I guess is the point I'm making. And now he's like, "Yeah, we're going to go for third in the constructors." And then he's like, "No, I don't even want to be a part of a team that's not going to be dominant." And over the years, it's kind of faded. So I don't know if the age is set in or just, I mean, I don't see him winning a championship again, but definitely not the same Sebastian Vettel of 2014, 2013.
No, absolutely not. But do you see something like on Chaz, do you see at least him getting on the podium this season?
I mean, it's in two things. Well, one, a correction, the last time he won was in 2013. The other thing is, I feel like in order to be on the podium, you have to be the top three, right? Like, I mean, it's more than a feeling; it's a fact. I mean, which means that let's just talk about the drivers that we have on the field. We have Hamilton, we have Bottas, we have Verstappen, we have Perez, we have Ricardo, we have Norris, we have Leclerc. It's before we even get to Leclerc. We have Sainz Jr. And all of those guys could be in better cars than him. Well, maybe not Charles and Sainz, but today they're better drivers than he is.
Yeah.
So you have better drivers, and then you have, at least 6 drivers that are in better cars in McLarens, Red Bulls, and Mercedes. So, I mean, if you put it all together, that's 8 driver car combinations that are better than him. I mean,
not to mention that Lance Stroll got on the podium before him last season.
He did. Lance Stroll he also had the best season that he's ever had last season. I mean, he actually showed up. I know a lot of people, crap on him for the most obvious of reasons, but yeah, I mean, Lance Stroll is no slouch. I mean, he made his way through the ranks like everybody else. Maybe, his seat was secured by, his dad having a couple bucks. But that being said, man, I mean, he would have to beat out a good number of people in order to even make it, 5 people in order to even make it to the podium. Now that's possible, with just the antics that go on in a race with crashes or disqualifications and all that. But that also includes him, right? It also means that he's not involved in any crashes, right? That also means that he has to qualify high enough. I don't know. I think both things are very much possible. It is possible for him to get on the podium, but it's also just as possible for him to go through the entire season and not see a single podium.